Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Miska.
And welcome to Overwatch Central. So the last time we actually discussed the ranked modes was during the PTR, and more problems have surfaced that we wanted to discuss. Before today we scripted a video going over some of the problematic and even broken issues within ranked. But now community manager Lileria posted on the Overwatch forums basically saying that they fixed some of the issues already. So we thought we'd take a retrospective look at this and go over the major issues within ranked and talk about the plans to fix them. Let's start with the elephant in the room that is the levers problem.
Just like in any multiplayer game, people will sometimes leave mid-game. Unfortunately, sometimes in Overwatch seems to have been quite often actually, meaning that people left ranked games a lot and by doing so would ruin the experience not just for their team but also for the enemy team. All of a sudden you're looking at a 5v6 game, which is not great for ranked, is it? The team with just 5 players are likely to lose, and this means that maybe even more people will leave. Point is that the system which determines how your rank is changed after this game would early detect that a player had left and adjust the gain or loss for that particular match. This means that the losing team just flat out lose, whilst the team that have won actually don't gain as much ranked rating because a player had left. This was incredibly frustrating, especially if it was right towards the end of the game, bearing in mind that you can spend as much of half an hour in one game of ranked just for someone to leave and diminish your ranked points, undeservedly so as well. But a leaver will always get a leaver's penalty, of course, but even then, the people that were winning the whole time have basically spent a lot of time in a ranked game for very minimal gain.
This was the main thing that was addressed last night. Lileria commented that we've recently implemented a change on PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One so that if a player leaves mid-match, it will no longer affect the skill ratings adjustment at the end of a match. To give more context, they went on to say that previously if a player from either team left mid-match, the game would automatically recalculate each team's probability of winning. The assumption was that if a team was a person down, the odds of them winning would go down too, and that the most accurate thing that we could do was account for this when adjusting each player's skill rating at the end of a match. Despite being more accurate, we received a lot of feedback that this recalculation just didn't feel great, and that it incentivized bad leaver behaviour, which is the last thing we want to do in competitive play. As a result, the game will no longer recalculate each team's probability of winning whenever one or more people leave, and instead will scale off the probability originally established at the beginning of a match, just as it would if there were no leavers.
Like mentioned earlier, the first person that leaves a ranked game does receive a warning and penalty. Then it can escalate to not allowing you to even queue for a while, and it can go so far that it flat out bans the leaver from playing any more ranked for the season. The rest of the people can just leave without any penalty though, meaning that if one person leaves, the match is nearly worthless to finish for the remaining players, even if you play to the last couple of minutes of a long, close match. Blizzard have already implemented the bug fixes for when somebody disconnects from ranked, so we were a bit nervous that they weren't gonna address this for a while, but now we're a little bit more relieved as we've definitely felt that this was the major thing that was holding ranked back. Sure, sudden death is an awful system, but this made the time you invested into your game obsolete entirely. Hopefully the new system cannot be exploited in some way, because honestly, this is great news right now. In regards to leavers though, the punishment of leavers should probably be a little bit harsher. You should probably get a mild ban from ranked when you leave at first for maybe 15 to 30 minutes even. Think World of Warcraft leaving in PvP and raids, etc. Hopefully that can alleviate some of the frequent leavers, but generally you can't stop people leaving, you just gotta make sure them leaving to spite you cannot happen.
Another myth we've seen flying around is that supports don't get as much rating as other classes. From what we've personally experienced, this isn't actually true. The general opinion flying around is that supports during their placement games get a lower ranking than those playing offense heroes. They could play all of their matches together, but they would still get a lot less rating. We can only speak from our personal experiences, but in our placement games we played as a pre-made of 6 and we all played one role pretty much. I've played all of my games as tanked and got a ranking of 53. Miska played 90% of his games as Lucio with a little bit of Genji thrown in too and got 52. One amongst many who just played Mercy got a ranking of 55, and Futile from Cynical Nerds played an assortment of characters and got the highest ranking with 56. So from our experience, the placement system doesn't follow a strict system, and honestly we're not sure how on earth it works. Once you do place though, you will get more points when you beat a team with a higher ranking and lose more points when you're beaten by a team with a lower ranking. Hopefully we get some information from Jeff Kaplan on how it works soon. But so far the placement system just doesn't really make any sense. If it is in fact true that supports are getting less rank points than defense heroes, then of course that is a big issue that needs resolving. But honestly, I'm not sure if it is. I think people's experiences vary, so it's really hard to say.
So to come back to ranked mode and the mechanics of it, Season 1's current setup is somewhat experimental, as you may already know, and we already know that things will be changing for the next season. I imagine we'll see even more tweaks in the future though, but for now we're going to have to make do with what we have. The lever penalty mess seems to be gone now, at least mostly, but if you really can't enjoy ranked anyway, then it's probably best to simply not play ranked for another month and write the season off as a pre-season. We know that sudden death won't be around for Season 2, and the time bank system have been confirmed for hybrid and payload maps for future seasons. So ditch this season if you want and pretend it never happened. And hopefully by the time Season 2 comes along, Overwatch Ranked will be as good as we all know it can be. Alternatively, you can sign up for tournaments and other competitive formats. We did a video on that last week that you can check out on screen now if you still want to compete in Overwatch just in a different way. Or if you don't want to do that, then simply just stick to quick play for another month. It can't be that bad, right?
When we wrote this video initially, it was a bit doom and gloom. We didn't know that the lever fixes were on the horizon, so we felt that this rank system was just in free fall with nobody picking up the pieces. We wanted to bring that video around a bit and look at the good parts of ranks because it's far too easy to just focus on the bad, and we don't want to turn into one of those ranty YouTubers that just hates on stuff for the sake of it. So let's start off by mentioning how enjoyable it is playing as a pre-made of 6. Miska and I have played a bunch of games with other people with a pre-made, and it's been really enjoyable and competitive. Speaking of that highly competitive nature, it's awesome to see people competing for that #1 spot on the ranked leaderboards. Several pro players stream and play hours upon hours of ranked. If you haven't watched any of these streams already, we'll link the Master Overwatch ranked leaderboards in the description below for you to check out, which also includes links to the top players' Twitch channels. I would definitely recommend Tavik. I think he's a great guy and he's an awesome player. We definitely recommend you to check him out anyway, as some of these streams are very fun to watch. These guys are very entertaining, but you might also pick up a few tips and tricks when watching these guys as well.
So all in all, we are all aware that the current ranked mode isn't perfect, but it looks like all the major issues have been addressed for now. Blizzard do listen to their fans, and it can sometimes feel that they don't, simply because, oh, Blizzard have the stats and it's not really that bad and yada yada. But in the end, they also want to look out for the community. Everyone's gotten their voice heard now, and we know that more changes are coming, so for now, I'm happy at least. We wanted to make this video to criticize the ranked mode further and also highlight some of the enjoyable bits, and there might be parts of both of these that you might not have experienced or even known about before. But it's nice to have some good news, and we hope you're enjoying ranked. If not, there are alternatives to simply playing it anyway.
And that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Do like this video if you want to see more. We will keep you up to date on ranked news as it comes out, so do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you next time.